This video is called American Speaks Latin to Italians in Rome. Holy moly, watch their reaction. Yeah, I'm gonna watch their reaction. So this is gonna be really fascinating, and I think it's a fantastic idea. In fact, it got a lot of views, and that's fantastic. It's gonna be interesting because at the end of the day, can Italians understand Latin? I'm gonna say most people won't understand him, also because is he gonna use classical Latin or is he gonna use ecclesiastical pronunciation? I think he did do it in the Vatican, by the way. Yeah, he did. American Speaks Latin at the Vatican with priests. Holy moly. We're gonna check that one out after this one. But let's begin with this one.
I am in the streets of Rome to run a little experiment. Can Romans understand the ancient Roman language? Can Romans understand Latin? Nostimi Domine, des mi indicare ubi sit amphitheatrum Flavium.
Okay. Right, let's have a look at that. So the guy answered back, Ma che sta di, which is not Italian, by the way. This is Roman dialect. Like, he's actually using his own variety. It's kind of rude, I'll be honest with you. This is a little rude, but then again, yeah, he is saying, what are you saying? Let's have a look again at how he said it.
Nostimi Domine, des mi indicare ubi sit amphitheatrum Flavium.
He did say Flavium, so I think this is classical.
Amphitheatrum Flavium satis rotundum aedificium.
Aedificium, that is, it's not ecclesiastical, it's classical, because if this was ecclesiastical...
Amphitheatrum Flavium.
See, so it would have been satis rotundum aedificium if this was ecclesiastical. So he's speaking... No, okay, so that definitely makes it a lot harder for modern Italians to understand, right? So a modern Italian, it depends on what high school they go. So I'll tell you more about that in a second. I kind of want to watch a few more clips, but then I'll give you the context from the Italian perspective to this. But first, let me see if he tries another guy.
Satis rotundum aedificium. Novicine? Non?
No, non ti capisco.
Italiche non loquor. Bene. Ok, difficile.
Italiche non loquor. He's telling him I don't speak Italian. Italiche. Hey, that's an interesting way. Man, he's good. His Latin is so good.
Credo in aqui finia esse. Est rotundum aedificium satis magnum habet arcus erat ubi.
He's actually describing the Colosseum. He's so good. So at this point, any Italian would be able to recognize at least that this is Latin because of all the and us at the end of the, even if it's classical, as long as you can hear that, then Romanum, like Imperium Romanum, you'll start recognizing it.
Giovanni.
San Giovanni non est justa forum Romanum.
See? Ex justa forum Romanum, and he's of course using the correct phenotypic vowel length, so he's actually extending the vowels correctly. It is so funny. This guy has no idea. Holy moly, this is... But when you hear forum Romanum, of course it's Latin. What else can it be? But you know what's interesting about that is that Latin, it's a dead language because of this, but a dead language isn't a language that people don't speak. It's often a misunderstanding of what a dead language is. A dead language is basically what you described, a language that doesn't have native speakers. But there are at least 15 to 20,000 fluent Latin speakers in the world, okay? So pretty much that means that, yes, it's still a spoken language. And sometimes when people hear, oh, it's a dead language, it means nobody speaks it. No, it just means it doesn't have native speakers. So that's another... Because as you can see, he speaks it very fluently. Now, of course, he also speaks Italian fluently, so now it's just being... this is great.
Quetiam est ubi erat quondam statua magna Neronis.
Statua magna Neronis.
Colossus nomen.
Colosseum.
Amphitheatrum Flavium. Ubi est.
This guy doesn't... Okay, this is so funny because, yeah, he said Colossus. Then the guy said, oh, Colosseo, because he thought he was saying the Colosseum. And then he said Amphitheatrum Flavium, did he?
Nomen.
Colosseum.
Amphitheatrum
See,
Flavium.
Amphitheatrum Flavium, which is the actual name of the Colosseum. But the guy doesn't know that. Holy moly, this is killing me.
Ubi est?
Ubi est?
Come te lo spiego?
Fortassis.
Fortassis, maybe.
Capito, però...
Capito, però... Oh my gosh, he's going into the tobacco place. He's going into the tobacco place. I'm so curious if he's gonna say anyone speaks English here, or like what is he gonna think this is? If he doesn't know it's Latin, he just thinks it's someone who speaks a foreign language. What is it? Romanian? Sardinian?
Parli inglese?
English! Come on, how can it be English, you muppet? Parli inglese. What on earth? The guy spoke Latin with a first century pronunciation. This is killing me. No, we don't speak English. Neither does he.
Ti devo spiegare al ragazzo dove per andare al Colosseo. Però lui è inglese, no...
And now he's saying he's English. So not only this guy failed at recognizing that he was being spoken Latin to, but he thinks Luke is from England. Oh, look, Ranieri, you're making my day. Rather than Latin.
Devo andare al
Salve.
Colosseo, però in inglese...
Salve.
Dipende da metro. Prendi il metro.
E come glielo spiego? Devi scendere giù alla metro.
Descendere in metropolitana?
Bravo.
Ah, bene.
Termini.
Ah.
Scendi a Termini.
So funny because metropolitanam in classical Latin the M is nasalized, so you don't really say metropolitanam. And of course, an underground, sorry if I didn't translate that, an underground, a tube, or a subway doesn't exist. So it's a neologism. He's basically which is fine. A lot of Latin speakers in our day and age do that. Like they will create terms for radio, television that don't exist. Like subscribendusque to subscribe. Of course, there is no subscribe in ancient Rome unless you want to subscribe to imperial domination of extended provinces. But it's fine. So he's doing metropolitanam, which is an absolutely fine way to translate underground. But the fact that he's speaking classical Latin in this case helps him with Italians because he's now not pronouncing the M, since the ancient Romans actually told us that. They said, do not pronounce the M if you don't want to sound like a barbarian, which means fully nasalize it, metropolitanam, which makes it sound like Italian, metropolitana. So she's like, bravo. Yeah, bravo. Did he pronounce V in Flavium early in the classical or ecclesiastical? He did classical. He said Flavium with a W. So that was correct, of course. And descendere, to descend, so go down a flight of stairs, for instance. In Italian would be discendere. It is absolutely recognizable. Maybe the k sound, like when you say Scipio Africanus, modern Italian would be Scipio. And so Scipio can sound, a few Italians will complain. They will say, nah, what are you talking about? But yeah, that's how it was pronounced. Like if you were to resurrect Scipio Africanus and ask him, hey, how do you pronounce your name? He would say Scipio. Now, would you use a closed O or an open O? No idea, difficult to say. But apart from the technicalities, the K, 100%. Like centurio, centurionem, it's just how it is.